Carney is a globalist shill who literally answers to the elites, and somehow Canadians are convinced that Pierre is the one that's going to sell us out. Welcome back to the Freedom Pines podcast. I'm your host, Jamie A.B. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So, as you guys know, I took a break on Friday because I was being severely attacked by the left. Okay, I uploaded a video, and I would upload it here, but I swear a lot in it because I was just really annoyed. Basically, where I said, no, you guys are right, in 10 years, since, that's usually how it goes in Canada. After 10 years, if we have Pierre and everybody is displeased with him, he's committed multiple crimes that he's just getting away with, driven our economy into the ground, and there's an angry mob everywhere he goes following him because of the choices that he's made. And instead of having an election, despite having an election 2, years into the pandemic, we're not going to let Canadians have one. We're just going to replace the leader. In my opinion, the Liberals have had multiple years of knowing how unpopular Justin Trudeau is. This is a trade war. So I don't care that this was the same thing that happened with Danielle Smith. It also happened with Kathleen Wynne. I wouldn't think it's right if Kathleen Wynne didn't call an election, and I wouldn't think it's right if Danielle Smith didn't call an election. There are rumors that we're not going to get an election, okay, because of this trade war. How do I know that? Because Jagmeet goes back and forth of whether he's going to let us have an election, okay? It's very reminiscent of COVID, where they had all of the borders shut down and stuff like that. They're manufacturing a crisis to stay in power, is my opinion. And I know a lot of people are saying, we'll have an election on the 17th. We'll have an election on the 24th. I don't believe we're having one until next year. Why? Because I don't believe that our government believes in democracy. You see, I know that people think that we don't live in, what is it called? Dictatorship. Okay, but dictatorships don't just start out with a dictator being like, yeah, I'm going to be a dictator. All of the steps that they have done, censoring our speech, censoring our internet, making sure that they make us do their best, make sure they do their best in brainwashing us into thinking that the other side is evil, etc., etc. Locked us in our homes, made us get an experiment. The left doesn't believe in democracy. They don't believe in democracy. They believe democracy when it suits them, because they will sit there and use semantics and say things like, you didn't go to civics class, you didn't pass high school, all of these different things. And I'm just like, so answer it. Why were you okay with having an election during a pandemic? Because if we didn't have that election during a pandemic, we would have already had our election by now. So justify it. Why haven't Canadians had a say in, I don't know, I'm sorry, but you cannot tell me that this is the same as any other scenario where someone got replaced and then they quickly had an election after, okay? We weren't in the middle of a trade war. We weren't so much into poverty that Canadians are scrambling, and 2.5 million Canadians are at food banks right now, okay? You can't tell me that we've been in this much of a healthcare, cost of living, everything crisis, and instead of having an election to, switch around the leadership in this country, they just changed the leader after 3 years of Justin Trudeau's numbers being in the ground. I don't think that's democracy. And the fact that the left will stand on fascism when it's convenient for them, and then just call people dumb when they bring up solid points. Like, you can say, did you attend civics? Did you, the law is this, but that doesn't make it okay. I wouldn't think that this is okay even if in the future Pierre did this or the Conservatives did this. Like, even if Harper did this, it would have left a horrible taste in my mouth, okay? And even though we weren't in a crisis, it still would have not felt right to me, and I will stand on that. I think that we should have a rule that if you switch leadership, there should be a snap election within, I would say, 2 weeks of that person being crowned or changed. Not only that, he's unelected. This is not a premier, okay? This is not Danielle Smith. This is not Kathleen Wynne, if you want a liberal example. This is our prime minister, and he has never been voted in, and he does not have a seat in the House of Commons. I don't even think that he can be in the House of Commons right now because he is an unelected member of Parliament, okay? He's also lying. He sits, everybody, amazes me that the left are like, oh, Pierre Poilievre's so much like Trump. Okay, so Carney doing those executive orders of getting rid of the carbon tax on day one, the consumer carbon tax, because I want to let you guys fucking know this. Our food is expensive because of the carbon tax on the companies. That's why our food is so expensive. So him cutting the consumer carbon tax only cuts the carbon tax that we have for gas and heating our homes, which is great and fine and dandy. But it's truly the $900 out of my husband's paycheck that is drowning us right now, okay? This man is already leaving Canada. He's already leaving Canada. This is not somebody who is interested in helping Canada. And probably someone who will move out of Canada when he loses the next election. Okay? And the sad part is that the vote should obviously, like if I was on the left, I would obviously be voting for Jagmeet Singh if I stood on everything that I say I stand on, diversity, equity, inclusion, all of those different things. Because what do you mean you're going to vote for the rich, privileged person? And you think that the person, like the way that this media has painted Pierre Poilievre, I want to just say this. Something my adopted dad said, I think it was like 3 years ago that he said this, made me howl. Okay, listen to this. He said, Pierre Poilievre is every single thing Trudeau wishes he was. Okay, he has an immigrant wife. He was adopted. He has gay dads. His children are mixed. He, what else? I can't remember, but all of those things. And it's not like Pierre Poilievre uses those things. If Trudeau had an immigrant wife, mixed kids, all of these different things, you know that he would use those as all of the props that he does, considering he has already been caught calling his children props. Okay, Trudeau has. We also found out on the weekend that Mark Carney is related to Justin Trudeau. Yes, Margaret is married to the Kempers, which is Mark Carney's, I think it's either his wife or Mark Carney's uncle. They're cousins. If the left actually listened and did educate themselves when all of these movements come up, like Every Child Matters and stuff, they would have actually known that bloodlines are really, really important for the elites. And guess who told us that? The Indigenous people. Yeah. And wouldn't you know it, another bloodline run in Canada. That's really wild to me. But when I sit back and I think about all of the comments and stuff that I got this weekend, I will say a lot of people were real. Those were real liberals. I look on their profiles. They have real videos, real like counts, real followers. I was called dumb by somebody who has OnlyFans this weekend. So I was like, I worked in the schools, you guys. What are you fucking talking about? I can guarantee if we read that in the schools that you don't have to have some sort of snap election and that there are ways of getting around having an election after a leader is put in place. I guarantee all of the students would put up their hands and be like, that doesn't seem right. And I'd be like, yeah, it seems like we should maybe fix that law. You're right. Okay? Because kids seem to have more common sense than adult liberals these days. And I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. And I just think that the support for Mark Carney is manufactured. Okay? Because Canadian journalists, I would say the majority of these news stations are not sticking up for Mark Carney. But the people online, okay, I've been on TikTok. I've seen the political landscape for the last 3 years, if not 5. I follow left-leaning creators, and for the most part, they are all NDP supporters. I have not seen this amount of support for liberals in a long time. And I don't think that necessarily was because Justin Trudeau was in, because I'll tell you, Justin Trudeau's got a fan club too. I think it's because all of this is manufactured. All of this is manufactured, and I can't imagine why you would ever think that voting for Mark Carney would mean protecting our sovereignty when the man has ties to Ghislaine Maxwell. He's a globalist through and through. He's literally an elitist banker. He literally said maybe that's what Canada needs, is an elitist, a globalist running the country. You guys have been so brainwashed. The left has been so brainwashed into thinking that Pierre Poilievre is this like white nationalist, like Trump 2.0. He's not. Like you can't make it up that they are saying that they like Mark Carney but hate Donald Trump. In any other land, someone who wants to work in government, who was adopted and fulfilled their dreams of working in government, that's usually a success story. That's usually impressive and inspiring. And somehow our media has taken it and turned it completely. Okay? That is the state of Canada. And honestly, I want to believe that all of these people commenting on this one lefty's video who's like, I'm a leftist and I normally wouldn't vote for him, but I'm voting for Mark Carney. And all of the comments talking about, oh, I'm lifelong NDP supporter, going to vote for Carney. I just don't buy it. I think it's all manufactured, and I think that they're doing this to make us give up. I do, because this is very exhausting. It's very exhausting to watch the left continuously lie. To the point where I definitely think the amount that they lie about Pierre Poilievre could be considered political interference, election interference, because how are you guys allowed to just get on there and lie? Just assume people are going to be, I don't even know. They said Project 2025. Trump's plan looks, all of the bad parts of Trump's plan, like taking over borders, MNRA, individualized cancer things, the AI interface, digital banking, blah, 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 blah. Working with the man that does the chip. They're all figuring it out, and they're like, what? I can't believe this. Oh, believe it, babe, because they were all just working for the left. They were all just working for the other guys. I don't know how the left doesn't see that in America. You guys realize that Mark Zuckerberg was pulled aside by Biden and said, you better censor the shit out of Facebook or he threatened him. Now that Mark Zuckerberg likes Trump, now it's a problem that all these tech bros are working with the government. Really. And it's insane to watch the parallels of what's happening in Trump and the left not liking what's going on with Trump versus the parallels of what it looked like during Biden or Canada. Because let's be honest, I don't think people on the left in America even give a shit that the truckers had their bank accounts frozen. But that is the biggest example of fascism that I have ever seen, personally ever experienced as well. I didn't have my bank account frozen, but I knew people that had their bank accounts frozen, and it was wrong. That's wrong. It's not okay. It's not even okay that they could figure that out. That's so messed up. And I'll tell you right now, a big reason I think that the conservatives are the real deal and don't want to be globalists is because they've been trying to put through bills to protect us from mandates happening again. And they've tried to put bills through to protect our genetic codes from CEOs, like our genetics from CEOs. The NDP and the Liberals shut those bills down. And they've been doing this and calling this stuff out for 3 years. I know that everybody wants to say that they're not doing it. And I'm literally like, watch a rally. Watch a rally! Okay. Because here's the thing. I am not naive enough to think that, Pierre Poilievre could get in there and be captured. Okay? But I'm also not naive enough to know that Maxime Bernier went to Davos. Maxime Bernier went to Davos and said that he made great connections there and he didn't regret going. Okay? So why wouldn't he just say, I regret going and I shouldn't have went? Why wouldn't he just say that? Why did he dance around it? He's like, well, I was made to. Yeah, because you quit when you didn't get your way. I think when he lost the leadership race or whatever it was. And then he says that he stands for all of these things, but then doesn't regret going to WEF, going to the World Economic Forum himself to make connections. Jeez. I know that conservatives go door to door. I know that Pierre Poilievre has been running his campaign for 3 years. Mark Carney comes in, does some executive ass order, gets rid of the carbon tax. Oh God, give me a break. Let's get back to the House of Commons and actually see what democracy is, because when's that going to be happening? When the hell are we going back to House of Commons? My days have been messed up because I usually watch House of Commons right before the kids get home from school. And it's messing me up and it needs to come back. So we'll wait and see what else comes about Mark Carney. But so far, you know, his company has moved to the United States, and yet the left thinks he's going to be loyal to Canada. Okay. He has literally 3 different passports, and he doesn't call himself a Canadian in the slightest. It's either his sister or his wife's sister who's friends with Ghislaine Maxwell. There's not even photos of Justin Trudeau with Ghislaine Maxwell, you guys. What is the left thinking? What is the left thinking? Do you think that this is going to split their vote? I think it's going to split their vote, because more and more actual left-leaning people are definitely voting for NDP, would never vote for Liberals, especially if they want to stand on business and not vote for this rich white CEO of a company, okay? Mark Carney yells at fucking journalists. He does not even go. He hasn't disclosed anything. Oh my gosh. I have no idea how this could happen. I do, because our government is so messed up that things like this can happen. And you know what? We need to put a law through that says you have to have a snap election if you're changing the leader of your party, and the leader of the party is a leader of a province or the country, okay? Social media can be manufactured even more than real media, whatever the hell real media is. But if you've watched up till now, thanks so much for tuning into today's video. And I want to know if you guys are having gardens this year. Let me know, because I'm in zone 3, so we don't start for another couple of weeks, our seeds, because we genuinely don't plant till the middle of June. Yeah, that's what it's like to live in Northern Ontario, my friends. But let me know, because I'm pretty sure Southern Ontario already has flowers popping up. So if I was in Southern Ontario, we would already have starters going. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I am super appreciative. Friday was really rough. I swear to God, some of those left-leaning people can be demonic. The things that they say to me are demonic. Okay, anyways, have a great day, guys.